We have breaking news at the Adam Gravitz Sports Show news desk. Long-running GM Tommy Sheppard is out. What will happen with the team? Where will they go? What does this mean for Wes Unseld Jr.'s future? Here with us, as always, Adam Gravitz. This is your special day, Adam. Get ready to unload your feelings. Where does the team go from here? I'll tee it up. There are rumors that Wes Unseld Jr. will return. We'll address that. But how do you feel right now?
So I feel good. I mean, I'm very happy that he was fired. He was unqualified for the job in the first place, as we all know. He should never have gotten it. Nice guy, but just was not qualified at all to be the general manager. All of his transactions basically show that, outside of a couple trade, the KP trade, I guess you can give him a good grade for that one. But like his draft selections, as we all know, were absolute dog shit. His free agent signings, I mean, what was it? Spencer Dinwiddie, who he then flipped. His re-signing of Davis Bertans, which we all knew was horrendous, we had to flip. The guy was, you know what he was? He was a used car salesman. That's what he was. Mm-hmm. He was a perfect used car salesman. He treated the fans like they were morons.
Right.
I mean, he was like, well, they'd ask a normal question. He couldn't give a real answer. So, I mean, good riddance to, bad fruit or whatever you want to say.
Bad
like
rubbish,
good riddance.
I believe is the
Exactly. He's trash. And I'm happy he's gone. I mean, the thing that gave me pause and a little bit of consternation was the report that Wes Unseld Jr. is being brought back.
Well, that's I think I don't want to say smoke screen, but that's fake. What I think that is, he's not trying to show his hand, and any responsible adult general manager who would come in here wants the right and the power to pick his own head coach.
But here's what bothers me.
What bothers you?
There is no reason. Like, they both should have been fired yesterday.
Yeah.
There was no. We're not talking about Eric Spoelstra. We're not talking about Greg Popovich. We're not talking about Steve Kerr. We're talking about Wes Unseld Jr., who was 24 games under 500. He's not a good basketball coach. He's not.
Nope.
He's just not a good basketball coach. And like you said, if we're going for the white whales of Bob Myers, Masai Ujiri, I don't really want Tim Conley because he torpedoed the Minnesota Timberwolves with that Rudy Gobert trade.
Everyone makes mistakes.
But if we're going for like the Masai Ujiris and Bob Myers of the world, what are you going to say to him? Oh, guys, yeah, you can, we'll give you all that you want, but Wes Unseld Jr. will be your head coach for at least
no one who's worth anything is going to want to come in here and adopt a head coach who came with the franchise.
Okay. And I agree with you, it's probably a smokescreen. But why did Fat Ted have to come out and say...
Why play games?
Yeah, why are you playing games? There's no reason for this.
Unless there's some... Again, we know this team isn't smart. We know that
they're horrendously stupid.
And so there may be a thought that you create some anxiety in the Beal camp by creating some confusion, and then when the new GM gets here, he's going to be primed to give the team some trade options.
That's possible, and I don't totally disagree with that logic. I just, reading that it says Ted Leonsis is his biggest advocate just shows me the guy still is a clueless fucking moron. I'm sorry.
I'm hoping that's lies. I'm hoping that's lies.
My favorite part is reading his prepared statement that he made where it's like, failure to make the playoffs was a disappointment to the organization fans. No, you dumb shit. Making the playoffs should not be your goal.
Correct.
I'm sorry, and we've had this conversation 1,000 times, but if you're an owner of a professional sports team, your goal every single year is to win a championship. It's not to make the playoffs. True or false?
True.
There are two types of owners in sports. I think you'd agree with this one. There's the one that gives a shit about winning titles, and there's one that gives a shit about revenue. And we know which one Ted Leonsis is.
Yeah.
Ted Leonsis couldn't care less about winning titles. He just wants to get the added revenue. That's all he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown it over his 15 years of owning the Wizards and Capitals.
Right.
He's shown it. He doesn't care about winning titles. He doesn't put in the maximum effort to do that. So while I'm happy that piece of crap Tommy Sheppard is gone, and I hate, my favorite thing is everyone's like, I hate when he's a good guy, or you hate when somebody loses their job. No, this guy was stealing money. He wasn't good.
Yeah,
he wasn't good.
Sports is a pretty you either perform or you don't kind of market. It's not. Exactly. It's not a friends hanging out, pumping out widgets activity.
No,
this isn't the office where you're selling paper.
Tommy Sheppard was making multi-million dollars a year. and doing an absolutely piss poor job at being a general manager.
Yeah.
He needed to be fired. This had to happen. I was shocked it actually did happen because I'm sure, did you see the clip where Tommy was asked at the end of the season interviews, have you had any discussions about your where your standing is within the organization? He's like, why would I think about that? He's so pompous and such a, he's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just thinks like, oh yeah, I'm a higher ground. So, I mean, again, it's great news, but now let's see who they actually get. I mean, I do like seeing that they're going outside the organization. I think we can both agree on that one. It's been 20 years since 2003 when they first hired the person whose name shall not be spoken.
Ernest.
Don't see, why do you do that? Again, it's been 20 years.
Yep.
Of him and his disciple.
Yeah.
Now we're going for new blood.
New blood. Again,
we both would be ecstatic if Bob Myers took this job.
Sure, but why would he take the job if he's saddled with Wes Unseld? And that's where I think it's a negotiation piece where it's, hey, great, okay, yes, we'll give this to you in exchange for something else. It's like when the car dealer always has the opportunity to throw in the floor mats at the end.
I know what you're, I understand what you're saying. So you ask me, why would you take this job?
Yes.
Here's why I would think somebody like a Bob Myers would take this job.
Yes.
I would imagine Ted, again, I don't think Ted's a smart guy. I don't think you think Ted's a smart guy. I would hope he would learn his lesson from 2019 where he botched everything and would give whoever, like these top level guys, whatever they want. So maybe you get taken in Monumental.
And you get some. You own part of NBC Sports Washington. You get all that stuff. Yeah.
Another reason you ask why you'd want the job. Tell me another job where your job security is as strong as it is being a Monumental sports and entertainment executive.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Wizards general managers and Capitals general managers, they don't get fired.
No.
They don't. I mean, they obviously do, but you have to. Ernie Grunfeld lasted 10 years.
Yeah.
Tommy Sheppard lasted 5 years. The best record he had was 38-44?
Right.
Or was it 34-48?
He's never been above 500, yeah.
He's never been above 500. He lasted 5 years, Jack.
Yeah, it's remarkable the kind of, yeah.
For as awesome as everyone says the Capitals are, they never made it past the second round except for 1 year. And guys stayed forever until they wanted to leave. So you ask me, what's the allure, the draw being of working for the Wizards? That's the allure to me.
But the headliner guys want to win a championship, right?
I agree. But they can. Maybe they show that they can win a championship. So maybe they'll tell Ted, or Ted can be like.
So they want a paycheck.
What?
You said these guys are looking to get a cushy Washington retirement spot with a paycheck.
Well, then what do you? So my question to you is, you say okay, we can't get Bob Myers, we can't get a side. So
I didn't
then what
say
do
we
you
couldn't. I didn't say we couldn't. I'm just saying I don't. I think it's a perfectly possible landing spot for anyone, assuming the organization is open to letting them reboot the franchise and do a full tank.
See, that's the $1 million question. See, that's the $1 million question you have brought up. Are they willing to actually look themselves in the mirror, which I don't think they are, and realize we got to stop this middle build shit. It's either completely tank it, trade Beal, which we both know should have happened 3 years ago. Don't sign and trade Kuzma. If you want to build around, if you want to keep Porzingis, fine. And then and do whatever you can to get younger, cost controllable players. Or are you going to go all in and literally just say, screw all the young players, screw the Denny's, the Coreys, Davis, all those guys, ship them all out for veterans, and truly go for a win now thing. But we both know Ted's not.
He's not going to do that. Yeah.
So that's where that is to me. Does Ted again? I don't think Ted's a smart guy. I don't think you do either. I don't think he's smart enough to realize, look, you can't keep on doing what you've been doing, because what you've been doing has been getting you 35 wins
with stretching to make the 9 seed. An important thing, again, I don't think Ted's that smart, but if I were him, yes. I would, again, my first question to any candidate would be, what are we doing here? And then Ted, or me being Ted, would have to agree with their direction. So if someone comes in and says, look, confidently, I think Beal's past his prime, he can't make it past,
But here's my thing. you're Ted Leonsis.
Yeah.
I come in and say, I come in as the GM candidate, and I say, well, I'd like to trade Bradley Beal.
Okay. How are you going to do that? Where are you going to get him, and what are you going to get for him?
I have a trade that I think you could get out. You could get out of this.
Tell me, general manager candidate Adam.
My trade that I would make,
yes,
is when the Miami Heat are eliminated in 5 games by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes,
I go to Miami because they like to go big game hunting.
Yeah.
And I say, all right, give me Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry's expiring contract, your 2023 first-round pick, and Nikola Jovic, your first-round pick from this year.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm. So that's your plan. And so my question, all right, so I'm going to pretend to be Ted, so I'm going to hit myself in the head with a hammer real quick. Okay, so you're telling me that we're trading Brad, who's the face of the franchise for the past decade, to an in-conference rival. Yeah. So we can see him multiple times a year, and he will pummel us for the next couple seasons.
Fine. You know what I also know is that Ted Leonsis won't be as Ted Leonsis, or not Ted Leonsis, Bradley Beal is 30 years old.
Yeah, you say Brad's a broken down car, and he can't run the whole season.
It's fine. We're going to see him multiple times. We're also going to be acquiring Tyler Hero, who's younger, making less money.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? With more shots, maybe he's even better.
Yeah.
You're getting Kyle Lowry's expiring contract. Maybe you flip that for something else.
Mm-hmm. And we get draft picks.
And you're getting another first-round pick in this draft. You'd have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
I'm also, if I'm the GM, I'm also signing and trading. What's his name?
Kuzma.
Yeah. I'm signing and trading Kuzma.
Fair.
So there you go.
Okay. Cool. Well, let's get you on the phone with Monumental.
No, I'm not,
get you back in there.
I'm not trying to act like I know what. Again.
No, but that's the question. To me, it's whatever the pitch. Again, considering that people would want to come do the job to make millions of dollars to hang out and have that conversation and then hang out. That's what you would have to sell Ted on, is that vision, and then he has to buy into that plan.
But let me ask you this: do we think that Ted is smart enough to
blow it up
that?
And let Porzingis be your best player and go from there?
Exactly. I don't think he is.
Okay, so then alternatively, he'd have to find someone who can be creative enough to work with what he's got.
But that's
and
the
then
problem.
I think regardless of that person would also have to say, hey, but I need to pick my own head coach.
I agree with you there, but you say like somebody that's going to be creative. It's like, well, how can you be? Well, okay. So in your scenario, are we getting rid of Kuzma?
I don't know. That's the question for the future GM is, okay, Ted, you need to keep Brad because you love him. We can't keep both him and Kuzma. So we got to get rid of one. Okay. We got to get Kuzma out here.
Again, I'm fine with that. I think, by the way, if seeing this news, if I'm Bradley Beal's agent, I am not ecstatic, obviously.
Yeah, because I don't think Beal, one, I don't think he actually wants to play. And 2, I don't think he cares about winning.
So here's my thinking, though. I saw something. So Bradley Beal is about 200 points away from breaking Elvin Hayes' record for point. What if that's the goal? Is he breaks the record as a bullet, whatever, wizard. Mm-hmm. Then he maybe says, "Get me out."
Well, I don't think he cares about that kind of history.
Oh, I think he does.
I think he does.
Yep.
I think Ted cares about that. I don't think Brad cares about it.
I think when that happens, don't you think that could be the? Oh Lord, don't you think that could be what happens?
I don't think so. I don't think you can't. Again, it's different. There's a different thing. So like the Ovechkin quest towards all his goals is a completely different scenario than. I think Brad likes his paycheck, and I think he doesn't care.
Okay. Well,
I think it's more important if you're trying to earn your $7 million a year as a GM or whatever you're going to make. Yeah. You need to have the juice to tell Ted, hey, you want to do that? You're going to be wasting our opportunity to turn this thing around quickly, and I think that's where you can get it.
Listen, I agree 1,000%. I am all about. Now here's all about rebuilding this thing and just, starting it fresh. Now, I will say this. I think depending on what happens to the lottery, you could get some interesting candidates. If we somehow get the number 1 pick, Bob Myers does become more potentially wanting to come here. Mm-hmm. Now the Masai Ujiri's would want to come here if we're getting Victor Wembanyama to pair with Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh my gosh, 15 feet of
what I'm saying is I don't think you can make a decision, I think, until the lottery.
Right,
because you want to see what you get. Because if you're
a GM,
I'm saying the Wizards could maybe start like
for the search committee.
a search committee and like get some names. But there's no point in hiring anybody before the lottery, because if we get the top four, if we jump into the top four, then all of a sudden your
much more
names of
spot.
people,
Yeah,
your pool of candidates gets a lot better.
Yeah,
I mean, if you stay at 8, you're looking at like the case. We'll get into a draft preview and all that stuff. But you're looking at the Case and Wallaces, guys like that, which is fine. Cam Whitmore, Keontae George, but like you're not. Bob Myers isn't like, you're gonna get. We're in the Keontae George sweepstakes. No, but if you're in the Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller, the Thompson twins, okay, now you're talking about like potential, franchise type players.
Yeah.
So I think my guess is they'll have a GM in place end of May. That would be my guess.
End of May.
Would you disagree? I mean, is that wrong? Would you disagree with that? I think it'll be about 4 to 6 weeks before they have a new general manager.
I didn't see specifically that they had. I know they're looking outside of the organization. I didn't see specifically who their search committee was made up by.
Like I saw Trajan Langdon, who's, I guess he's cut his teeth with like the Spurs. He was with the Nets. He's currently the Pelicans GM.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, who's the search party? Like who's leading the search?
Absolutely great question. I have no idea.
Obama in to help him out? Because I know that was a conversation they had last time.
Wasn't that what happened? He brought in Obama?
You consulted Obama.
I have no idea what's going to happen. But again, I think as a Wizards fan, as we both are, we were both ecstatic to see the news. But again, I'm cautiously optimistic because the last time we were this happy was 2019 when they fired Ernie, and then what happened?
Got Ernie Jr.
Right, we got Ernie Jr. So, like, are we going to wake up and, like, Antoine Jameson is now the next GM? No, I'm serious. Like,
Jason Smith is the new GM for the team.
Like, Chris Miller is now been named the GM. Like, is that what's going to happen? Wes Hall is his assistant.
Ted Leonsis is now the GM and owner.
Zach Leonsis is now the GM.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to make is,
Alex Carson is now the GM.
Oh, God. The point I'm trying to make is, like, while we should all be ecstatic,
yeah,
and I think that's silly to not be ecstatic. While we should all be ecstatic, we also have to wait and see what the big dum-dum at the top does. Because he could just screw us all over and just hire Antoine Jameson. He's like, well, we thought we were going outside the organization, but, we felt Antoine was just the best fit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know what I'm saying?
They could always pull the okey doke on you, yeah.
Right. Until we actually see who he hires, it's kind of hard to be like super invested, if that makes sense, like super ecstatic.
But it provides you some hope that you didn't have before.
I know. I have hope. I have more hope because I know Tommy Sheppard will not be making the draft pick.
Yeah.
See, that's the key. We both know Tommy Sheppard will not be making the pick.
Yes.
So whatever pick we have, Tommy Sheppard will not be involved in it. So we know that our second round pick is not going to be some guy from the Congo who's 10 years away from being 5 years away.
Yeah.
Like that guy we drafted last year.
Yeah.
We're not going to be trading and giving Isaiah Todd we're not going to be drafting Isaiah Todd.
Never playing.
And giving him a 4-year contract and then just not playing him for 2+ years.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be like, I would hope whoever we hire is savvy enough to like realize we need to go after, competent players that are actually going to be NBA ready and that are going to be playing in the, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, again, I'm very happy. I think you're happy. So I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? I guess I don't know. Like,
I think that was great. I think we this emergency podcast came through perfectly in timing with reality, and again, it gives us something that we can be hopeful for. It's not that same, the more the same that we were expecting. So that's quite the surprise.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what happened between the end of the season and now, which made them make that choice. But it's also possible that we're looking at Miami falling out and some other opportunities that could be creative out there. Who knows?
I have a theory as to why this happened.
Why is that?
Ted was watching Rui in the playoffs.
Oh, that he's dropped like 25 points a game in the playoffs?
Yep. And he's like, he's thinking like, wait a second. We traded this guy who I put all this into, like, what was it, like Japanese?
I have shirts with his Japanese characters on it.
What do you do? I'm saying he saw like, wait, this guy's dropping 25, 25 in game one of the playoffs, and we got Kendrick Nunn in 3 late seconds.
Yep.
That's what I think was the final straw.
Good.
Because then Tommy probably tried to go, like he probably had a call, with Tommy, and Tommy like tried to spin it like, well, we got 3 second-round picks, Mr. Leonsis.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't help me now.
Alternatively, you could have worked out a deal with Rui and then shipped Kuzma somewhere else, and then you've been set.
Right. Well, we could have done that, or we could have just traded Rui for a better package, which we could have gotten before
the season.
He traded him a week before I think the deadline, didn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't like a week.
It was early.
He could have waited until the actual deadline, gotten a better package.
Yeah.
So again, good riddance to Tommy Sheppard. I'm sure he'll get another job somewhere else as a assistant GM somewhere. Because you know the old adage that like some guys are just are suited to be assistant coaches, not head coaches.
Yeah. Like
Norv Turner when he was with the Redskins and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Tommy Sheppard probably is.
Yeah.
He's just suited to be the number 2. He's suited to be the guy that you like ask, well, what do you think? And then he gives his 2 cents.
Yeah.
And then you make the final decision. He's not the one that should be making the final decision.
Fair. Well, very good.
I think that's good. So that's it.
Okay, so that's been the Adam Gravitz Show. Breaking news. For Adam, this is Jack. It's been the Adam Gravitz Sports Show. Have a great day.
The Adam Gravitz Sports Show.